Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is Mohammad Fahim Rahman. I am currently studying computer science and engineering at Shah Jalal University of Science and Technology. Today I am going to discuss a topic in macroeconomics, which is relation between money and output. So our discussions will be equilibrium between money market and the key components of money market equilibrium. So our first topic is equilibrium between money market. So what is equilibrium between money market? Money market equilibrium is basically the condition where money demand and supply money equals. If MD is equal to MS, then we can say that there will be a equilibrium in the money market. In the equilibrium of money market, there will be a stable interest rate. Okay. After that, our next topic is K component for money market equilibrium. There are many components for money market equilibrium: money demand, supply money, and equilibrium interest rate. First of all, money demand. What is money demand? Money demand is the desire of some institution or businesses to hold money without invest them or with instead of other assets. Okay, so this is money demand. This is money demand. Money demand. So what is money demand curve? Basically, money demand curve is the relation between money demand and interest rate. So normally money demand curve is downward with respect to interest rate. If MD is high, then we can get R is low. If MD is low, then R is high. Yeah. So why MD is high, then R is low? If R is low, that means interest rate is low. Then the cost of borrowing is also lower. Then the opportunity cost is also lower. Thus, people tends to hold money more and more. So the money demand will be higher. That's why if R is low, then MD is high. For the next relation will also vice versa. If R is high, then MD is low. How? If R is high, that means interest rate is lower, then the cost of borrowing any product is also lower, then the opportunity cost is also lower. Thus, people tends to money less. So the quantity of money will be lower. That's why if R high, then MD is also low. After that, our next component is money supply. Okay, basically money supply is controlled by the Federal Reserve or Central Bank or US. Okay, so what is money supply? So money supply refers total amount of money available in an economy at any given time. Okay, normally money supply is controlled or adjusted by the central bank. Central bank can boost or slow it down at any time at any period. Okay, and after that our next component is equilibrium interest rate. So what is equilibrium interest rate? Equilibrium interest rate is the interest rate where quantity of money demand and supply money is same. Okay, it is the point where MD and MS curve are intersect. By the MD and MS curve we can find the equilibrium interest rate. Okay, so after that we'll see money market graph. In the money market graph, y-axis represent the interest rate R and the x-axis represent quantity of money. So RH, RE, RL represent the different level of interest rate, and MH, ML represent a different level of quantity of money. In the above section, we see that MD is high, then R is also low. If MD is low, R is high. Okay. Here in the money market graph, there are two curves represent MD curve and MS curve. MD curve means MD curve is money demand curve and MS curve is money supply curve. If RH is high, then we will get M in low. If R is low, then we will get M in high. Okay, so basically that's why basically MD is downward because of R and M relation is inversely proportional. That's why MD curve is downward and MS curve is actually vertical. It's constant. We can say that it will be constant for a certain period. For why it's constant, why it is in the vertical line, because of it controlled by the central bank. Okay, that's why it not shifted at any higher. So that's why MS curve is vertical line and MD curve is downward with respect to with respect to R and M. So in the graph we see that M is high, then interest I is low. Okay, after that we'll say that I is equal I naught minus HI, where I is investment and I is interest rate, and I naught is autonomous investment. Yeah, so we can say that the relation between investment and interest rate is inversely proportional. How we can say that the relation between investment and interest rate is inversely proportional? If we take I as high value, if we take I is high value, then we will get low value of I. If you take I value is low, then we will get I value is, if we will take I value is high, then we will get I value is low. If we take I value is low, then if we can find investment is low. Okay, that's why we can say that interest rate and investment relation is inversely proportional. Okay, after that we will see a graph which is actually Keynesian's cross diagram, where x-axis represent the level of GDP and the y-axis represent the aggregate, where y-axis represent the actually investment. Yeah, where y-axis represent the investment and x-axis represent the GDP, or we can say the output. Okay, if in the x-axis y is equal to GDP and x-axis y-axis investment is C plus I plus G. In this section, C is actually consumption for country, or I is actually investment, and G is actually government purchases, and government purchases for goods and services. These are the investment in y-axis. In the x-axis, y naught historic and y1 historic represent the different level of GDP. Okay, if C plus I naught plus G and C plus I1 plus G is actually represent a different level of investment. In the C plus I naught plus G is represent actually low level of investment, and C plus I1 plus G actually represent high level of investment. For the low level of investment, C plus I naught plus G, we will get the Y naught historic. That means we will get the output as low, and C plus I1 plus G, for the high level of investment, we will get the high level of GDP, Y1 historic. So in the graph we can see that the relation between investment and the output is positively proportional. If I is low, then the Y is low. If the Y is high, then the I is high. Yes. After that, our next graph is money supply and aggregate demand graph. This graph is actually represent the model of aggregate demand and the aggregate supply. Okay, in the y-axis, actually y1 y2 is represent uh, output or GDP, and in the x-axis m1 m2 is actually represent the money. Okay, and here AD is represent actually aggregate demand, and A is actually represent aggregate supply. Okay, so for the y1, so for the m1, we will get y1, so for the m2 we will get y2. But how? If money supply is slow, then we will get y1 as slow. If m2 is high, then we will get y2 is high. Why? Because of, if money supply is increase, we'll also get more and more output or GDP. So that's why M increase, that Y will also increase. Okay, so M increase, then the aggregate demand will be, if M1 to M2, so our money is shifted M1 to M2, then will our demand will be also, our total demand or aggregate demand will be shifted. So our demand will be AD to AD is shifted, AD is steric. Yeah, because of because of our money because of our money supply increase. That's why our demand will be also increase. AD to AD history. Yes. And the and AS is actually aggregate supply, which is always upward. Why? Because it is actually because it is actually controlled by the because it is actually controlled by the central bank. That's why it is always upward. Okay. If upward, that means it is upward for a certain period of time. If our time is changed, then the as will be changed for the time. Okay, so that's it, our money supply and aggregate demand graph, and that's our today discussions. So thanks, and if you find this video helpful, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.